what are your thoughts on how you were impacted with COVID and also our nursing community?
Well, Mary Joy knows my story very well. I don't know if Elizabeth Grace or Ren knows my story, but we were the first patients of COVID. My husband and I were hospitalized in March of 2020 when COVID first hit and became a huge pandemic during that time. So we didn't know what to do at that point. We were in the hospital. Luckily for me, I wasn't intubated. My husband was intubated after 5 days, and they couldn't extubate him for 3 weeks, and he died. So I survived, and he did not. I had the survivor's guilt. I didn't know how to deal with it, losing somebody that you've been for the last 50 years since my student days, who became my husband for 42 years and the father of my 4 children, was a very traumatic and difficult thing. So I've presented twice since then in many forums, and I still cannot say it without becoming emotional. And of course, I'm learning how to cope. A lot of the PNAA has offered a lot of help. First with prayers, a lot of webinars, a lot of emotional healing, a lot of things that would help us, and a lot of hand-holding with nurses who were concerned. Mind you, I was president at that time, and I was about to endorse to Dr. Mary Joy Garcia Dia here in July, and I was sick with COVID and I had no strength. So I endorsed the PNAA to her to start already with a COVID task force that we were already in the planning stages to how are we gonna protect our nurses. I'm in the hospital, I'm sick, they're praying for me, my husband is dying, and how are we gonna protect our nurses who are crying for PPE, for staffing? We don't have enough nurses, people are dying right and left. We were in that horrible, horrible pandemic last year. So of course, Mary Joy stepped up to the plate and really took the ball running and led through the time that I was ill. And I got better afterwards, and we were able to do an online endorsement, which was the first in PNAA. But nobody can tell me that it's an easy thing, or that you can go through the stages of grieving and get over it. There's no getting over it. It just gets a little number and number. The pain edges are lesser and lesser, but there's no getting over it. It's somebody who was a big part of my life that I lost, and nobody can tell me that doing all the stages of grieving and all the help will erase the sadness. It wouldn't, but you learn to cope. And of course, with the help of family, friends, huge part, PNAA did a huge part in making sure I was okay. So with being busy with PNAA business and the COVID task force, and Mary Joy running with the baton, and then she started her administration beautifully, and she did it very well during the first year of COVID. I commend her. She's the right person for the right time with the right skills. But this family of PNAA nurses, believe me, prayed for me from San Francisco to Florida to New Jersey to New York, and they continue to pray and help those who are affected. It is such an important organization that truly helps those who are affected by COVID. I still need help. I still cry in waves when it comes, but I consider that okay because I'm human. So I get solace from praying, from being with family, from being with my PNAA friends, and from being busy. If I help somebody affected by it, it helps lessen the pain that I have.